This is like, can you guys like catch a break?
I mean, it's complicated, and then there's Clace.
Clary's been through a bit. So tell us a little bit from season 1 to now.
From season 1 till now, it's been a quick journey chronologically, but she's grown a lot, and it's a gift when you're playing a character for such a long time to have such growth. And every season I kind of look back on it, and she really does make a major step. You know, season 1 was all about learning about the world and figuring out what it is that she's been thrown into. And season 2 was kind of about finding her place in that world and really solidifying her choice to be a part of that world. Because season 1, she was thrown into it, didn't have a choice. Season 2, she went, you know what, I'm gonna be a Shadowhunter. This is my life now. And then season 3 is coincidentally about dealing with the consequences of all of her actions up until this point. You know, Clary, while she has the best of intentions, she's made a lot of mistakes along the way, and she's taken a lot of actions that have ramifications for other people, for herself, and for the world as a whole that she didn't realize at the time, just because she didn't know that those consequences existed, let alone certain aspects of the world. And now, as we absolutely saw at the end of episode 8, she's going to have to pay for what she's done.
And there's some consequences there.
There's a few. I mean, she's just been sentenced to death, so we'll see how that turns out. But spoiler alert, that's it. This is my last episode.
Right, we thought we talked to her, and just to say goodbye.
Exactly.
Can you give us some hints as to what might happen?
I can tell you, what can I tell you? I can tell you a few things. We'll see some familiar faces in the next couple episodes that we haven't seen in a while.
Okay, great.
Then the next episode, Clary comes face to face with, as they say, an old foe that I don't know if we thought was long gone, but may not be now.
Oh no.
Because it's the shadow world and anything's possible.
Right. No one ever really dies.
Right. Well, and here's the thing. Especially with Lilith, she is this force to be reckoned with. She is quite literally a bat out of hell that is out for blood and vengeance. And being a queen of hell, mercy is not really in her repertoire.
Nope.
Nor is forgiveness. And since we killed her baby, basically, she's out for blood. And she will do anything and everything and use everything at her disposal to destroy.
I'm a big, Clary Jace fan, but are you two gonna get it together by the end of 4? I mean first
I wish, man.
You wanted it. You wanted each other. Then you were brother and sister.
Right.
Then you were not brother and sister.
Right.
Right.
Then I was dating somebody else.
Right.
And the Sealy Queen messed that up.
And then he kind of died, and then he kind of came back.
Yeah.
But then he tried to kill you. I mean,
right.
This is like, can you guys like catch a break?
I mean, it's complicated, and then there's Clace. You know what I mean? Then there's Shadow World. It's complicated.
Yes.
But the whole point of all of it is Jace and Clary have had an electricity and a connection and a chemistry since the moment they bumped into each other outside Pandemonium. And that's been the whole catalyst for this story, and they can never be without each other. It's something that, you know, they make each other stronger, and when one is weak, the other can be strong for them. And they, together, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. And that connection keeps drawing them back together. So despite everything, they will always fight for each other.
If Clary had to, let's see, go through a parabatai, like connection with another character, would it be Jace after she's been through all?
Well, technically it can't be.
Okay.
Because there's a rule that you cannot be romantically involved with your parabatai. Because there's too many lines crossed, because the parabatai connection is already so spiritual and emotional but it's still based in battle. It's still based in warfare. And if you have a romantic connection with that person as well, it creates a whole other dynamic and a whole other drama that you don't want. It's like you don't want to work with the person you're dating. You know what I mean? Because that just causes drama.
Maybe since you're not with Simon anymore, maybe Simon?
It could be, but if Simon were a Shadowhunter. I think if there's anybody...
Because he's a downworlder, he can't be.
Exactly. So who knows who it would be.
Now, getting to some of the fight scenes and some of the... I mean, this is a really physical show. That was one of the things that... I remember when I first watched it, I'm like, okay, Freeform.
Yeah.
You were putting some work into this. Now, you've got to explain how much training do you guys actually do, specifically you, and then when do the shoes go on and when do the shoes come off? Because I don't know how you do all that in 4-inch heels.
Right. Well, personally, I'm a workaholic, and I have really come to love the training that we get on the show. So I train quite a bit. But when I first started the show, I didn't really know how to throw a punch. I didn't know much about holding a sword. And now I do most of my own fight work and a lot of my own stunt work as well. But that's a huge testament to our stunt coordinating team and our team of trainers who are all world-class martial artists. And they actually spend the time to teach us the principles of the martial arts and to train us on their off time so that we can be able to do those things.
So when Jace threw you off the roof and you landed on the car, that was not a stunt double?
Part of that was me. So when it comes to the bigger things like that, it's always a combination between my stunt double and myself and our amazing stunt team who, you know, holds our lives in their hands on the wires and things like this. But I love things like that because my stunt double has been a martial artist her whole life, and whereas I have not. So watching her move and watching the way she exhibits these movements, I've taken on a bit of her style and she's taken on a bit of the way I move, so it's kind of blended together to create the way Clary fights.
That's awesome.
And I've learned so much from her, and I give her so much credit for everything that she's done. But she scares me sometimes because she goes for it so much when it comes to all the hard falls and the things that they won't let me do. But it makes it look incredible.
It does, because it really looked like you fell that way.
Yeah.
And destroyed that car.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, funny story about that. Our director, they wanted to dent the car in a way that looked accurate for someone who's fallen 8 stories and landed on the roof of a car.
Right.
So they had the car pre-dented. It had not been dented, so pre as in before it was dented, in a sense. And I sat down with the director of that episode, and we looked up pictures of people that had fallen from great heights and landed on things.
Oh my God, the people who killed themselves.
Can you, basically, hey, can you contort yourself into this way, or how about this way? So I got on top of the car and tried to figure out how to do it. Then they did a tape outline of my body on top of the car.
These are not ones you send to the folks.
No.
These are not like, look what I did at work today.
No, exactly. And then they dented the car in the shape of my body so that when I landed, it looked right.
Wow.
It was really interesting.
Yeah, that's method acting.
I really did not want to see a white outline of the shape of my body.
No.
Not something I could have gone without seeing that in my lifetime, but you know.
Maybe they could have CGI'd that. Oh, actually, speaking of CGI, how is it working in a green screen space? I know, like, in certain things, I know, obviously, for every actor, it's easier working practically, but was that an adjustment, working through that much? I know you've done other movies and things like that where you've had to do that. Is it difficult on this show working in green screen?
This show has taught me a lot about that, in particular with, you know, the runes that I'm drawing, because none of that is there on the day, so I'm just...
You're not actually burning your...
No, and especially like the portal runes and things that I'm drawing in the air. It's, okay, so I'll get a picture from art department of what the rune is, and then I have to talk about how big it is, and what's the frame, and what's in shot. And it depends on the shot. You know, we're really lucky. We have a 360-degree green and blue screen stage at our studio now. And we have another green screen in the stunt room. So we can do a lot of the wire stuff. We can do a lot of creating environments that wouldn't otherwise be available to us within our own studio. So it definitely makes it a lot more versatile, the things that we can do, but it does involve a lot more talking than you would think, especially when it's a monster or something that we're all reacting to, because in that sense, everyone has to be on the same page of what exactly does this look like? How scary is it? What does it sound like? How does it move? How fast is it? Things like this, so that we can properly track what it is, so we all don't look like we're looking at 7 different things. And whether that's a tennis ball on a stick, run around by our AD, or we have guys sometimes in green suits with markers all over them, and you know, we had a demon the other day that was taller than the man that was doing the stunt work, so they had a orange pole out of his head with a little ball on the end.
And that's what you had to look at.
And that was the head, but when you're looking at a person, you have to look above their head and not, it's a whole thing.
It's a lot of work, though. But I mean, you guys pull it off, because the show looks great.
Well, it's a huge testament, again, to our visual effects team, who works so hard to craft those things and get so passionate about creating every aspect of the show.
Your fans love you, and your fans really, really take good care of you.
Well, and I feel really lucky, because they're, you know, right when I was cast, I found out I was cast 10 minutes before they announced it on Twitter.
Oh my God.
And so for 10, and I'd seen, you know, Who is Clary was trending, there were all of these things going on that they were, because they had announced that they'd announced 2 hours before that they were going to say who Clary was, and I still didn't know until 10 minutes before the announcement went out. So I had 10 minutes of pacing around my apartment going, I don't know what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
I hope they approve. I hope I'm worthy of taking on this character that so many people care about. And immediately it was the warmest welcome. So I have the fandom to thank for that, and it's been largely the same ever since.